Alright, here we go. In case anybody is watching that didn't see the first video, my name is Jim Hill, and I am your 4-H shooting instructor. We are going to continue our video that we did earlier on picking and identifying mushrooms, and we are also going to touch on some of the other aspects of this subject. I do have some pictures to show you guys that we're gonna show in this at the tail end of this video. But this video we're gonna touch on weather conditions, terrain, and we're also gonna touch on safety. And if I have enough time, I'm gonna touch in on what animals you are going to encounter when you're out mushroom picking. Good animals and bad animals. So first, let's talk about weather conditions. As you can see, we kind of went right from winter to pretty much summer. We really didn't have a spring, and that really affected the morel mushrooms. I've been hunting morel mushrooms for a lot of years, and even I had a hard time finding them this year. So that's the reason why I'm going to show you a picture of one that I've got on my phone, because I don't have a whole lot to show you out in the woods. So, terrain, you're looking for typically like hillsides that are facing the sun are good. Low-lying wet areas are good. Any woods that have like old wood or rotten wood. White morel mushrooms typically like to grow around elm trees, apple trees, that sort of thing. That's where I typically find my white morel mushrooms. There is exceptions. You can find them in other places. I have found them in other places. If you're driving along and you see a woods that looks like it could actually produce something, and it's not private land, or if it is private land you have permission to hunt it, then by all means hunt it, check it out, because like I said, there's anytime you do stuff like this, there's exceptions to the rule. You know, nothing is rock solid. So I'm going to turn this camera around so you can see the type of woods I'm in today, and let you take a gander at that. And then after you take a gander at that, we'll turn it back around and I'll talk to you about some safety stuff. Okay, so here you see the type of woods I'm in today. There's one of those hillsides I mentioned right there that's in the sun. Typically that should be a good place. You can see this right here is going down into a low area. It's kind of late in the season for morels. We're gonna walk around here a little bit and see what we see, but like I said, it's kind of late in the season, so I'm not really expecting to find a whole lot. I just wanted to show you the kind of area that I'm looking in. Weather conditions, you know, it's got to be, you know, 50, 60 degrees during the day, and you know, it's got to be in the like 40s or above at night typically for the stuff to really do anything. And then, you know, we got to get rain. It's got to be moist and damp. It can't be super dry. If it's super dry, you're not going to do much typically. I mean, I never have, so that's, so you can see down there now you got that low area. So that's the gist of things. Here's a mushroom here. I'm gonna pick this. That right there is a poison mushroom. You don't want to pick that. It's no good. Very harmful. It'll hurt you. So if you see that, you want to stay away from it. This over here is a fern. Most of you know what that look like. What that is a fern. If you get the ferns before, see if I can get it so it's not so blurry. If you get the ferns before they start opening up, I can show you some of those when I go back to my house, because this woods video I'm gonna cut kind of short because I want to save some time to show you some other stuff when I get to the house. But if you get those ferns before they open them up, those ferns are edible. You can eat those ferns. So safety tips. There's a few things when you come out into the woods that you should probably bring with you. You should probably have like a knapsack that you can bring stuff with you. Certain things that you probably should need just in case. First aid kit. I always carry a first aid kit. I always carry a knife because you never know when you're going to need a knife. And then there's a few other things. If you have a cell phone, which most people do, try and use your cell phone if you need it for your GPS to find your way in and out of the woods if you have to, if you're not familiar with the woods. I think I touched on that a little bit before, because it's very easy to get turned around in the woods and not find your way out. There's a couple other things I'm going to touch on when I get back to the house. Like I said, I'm going to cut this nature video a little short. Because I don't have everything out here with me that I want to show you. As you can see, I'm on my quad. I've got knapsacks on my quad, so I can carry stuff in those knapsacks. I carry rope and So a few other things. Typically I would probably carry water and maybe something to eat just in case. But I knew I wasn't going to be out here that long today, so I didn't bring that stuff with me. So some of the animals you're going to encounter this time of year when you're out in the woods, you're going to encounter turkeys. Turkeys typically are not very harmful. I mean, as long as you respect them, they'll respect you. Deer fawns. Deer fawns. You're going to find a lot of deer fawns this time of year. They're going to be bedded down. They're going to be hunkered up because they're not very old. If you run across a deer fawn, don't touch it. Don't bother it. Take pictures of it if you want, but absolutely do not interact with that deer fawn. Stay away from that deer fawn, because the minute you interact with that deer fawn and that deer fawn has human contact, mother will not tend to that fawn no more, and that fawn will be subject to whatever comes along that wants to get it. So absolutely do not interact with that deer fawn other than taking pictures if you want. Snakes. You're going to encounter snakes. You're going to encounter good snakes. You're going to encounter bad snakes. Obviously, if you encounter a gardener snake, everybody knows what a gardener snake looks like. At least I hope they know what a gardener snake looks like. Gardener snakes are harmful. They're not going to hurt you. They're good for the environment. They kill bugs. They kill flies, whatever. So gardener snakes are good snakes. Bad snake, Michigan rattlesnake. Everybody's seen a rattlesnake in a movie. Makes that rattling noise. One thing you need to keep in mind about a Michigan rattlesnake is a Michigan rattlesnake does not make that. A Michigan rattlesnake sounds like a swarm of bees. So if you're walking around in the woods and you encounter something that sounds like a swarm of bees, it could be bees or it could be a Michigan rattlesnake. So my suggestion is, whatever direction it's coming from, if you don't want to encounter that snake, I would suggest go the other direction, because I don't know about you guys, but I don't like snakes. So we are getting into the 13-minute mark. So I am going to stop this video, and I am going to go back to my house. And when I get back to my house, I'm going to resume this video for the last few minutes. And I'm going to show you some safety stuff that you should take with you. So we shall return.